Welcome back. This is the Vero Engineering Isotope. I've worked with Vero Engineering, Joseph Vero, a couple of years back when I kind of first started the channel. We worked together on a couple of different videos, and he sent his pry bar to me, the fulcrum, and the name of the first knife is kind of escaping me right now, but I'll link to my Vero playlist up in the corner. So we did a couple of videos, and then, we just kind of stopped working together. I don't know. So you get a nice pouch with a patch, also a microfiber cleaning cloth and a sticker, as well as some contact information on a business card here, if it will focus. There we go. And I'll link some stuff down below as well, and some information about this specific knife. All right, so as you saw by the title, it's a front flipper, I guess is what you call it. It's not really a thumb front flipper. I kind of think of a front flipper more of with your thumb. This is more of a, I don't know what they call it, a top flipper? I don't know. So the flipper tab is kind of integrated in, and all of his knives are that way, so that when it's open, there is no exposed flipper tab. That was his whole point. That was his whole design and reasoning, if you will, for creating the initial Vero Engineering knife, the way I understand it. He also liked the very clean show side with no thumb stud, thumb hole, or anything like that. So the deploying hole, if you will, is milled in about halfway, give or take. I didn't measure that, but, about halfway through. If you're going to make a knife with a flipper tab of some variety, whether it's a flipper tab that sticks out the back, whether it's a flipper tab that, really sticks out or is on top, it needs to work. And for me as a right-handed person, well, of course, I'm going to get it to work this time. I have played with this for days. Wow. All right. Well, there you go. That I don't know what happened. I did clean it out, and so there you go. It's all about where you put your fingers. It's very susceptible to lock bar pressure. Left-handed. My thumb is off of the lock bar. My palm is kind of on the clip. It opens no problem. Every single time, without fail. I have not had any issues opening it left-handed. However, I'm a righty. And as you can see, now it's going to work some of the time. So maybe I'm just, I don't know. See, there you go. It's locked up solid. It's locked up solid again. Like it's locked up. I can spidey flick it if that is your method of choice, but it does not consistently front flip. So for that reason, that's a problem for me. The inconsistency. If it never opened, that's one thing that you can just live with. When it opens sometimes but not others, you're kind of in trouble. You're also kind of in trouble if you're a left-handed person and you want to spidey flick it because you can't, because there is no hole, there is no nothing on that side. You're forced to front flip it. All right, so let's talk about the knife in general right now, because there's some stuff that's very cool about it, even if it doesn't flip correctly. So hopefully you haven't left and just think I'm an idiot and all that. So let's just focus on the knife now. 4 7/8 closed, 8 3/4 overall, 3.94 inch blade with a 3.7 inch cutting edge. Blade thickness is 0.158. This particular one is M390 with a belt satin finish. They do have a hand rub satin finish as well as an option. Overall thickness is 0.543 minus the clip. It does run on bearings, and it is an integral knife. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. weighs in at 5.6 ounces. So as we zoom in here, we'll talk about the integral part. This is one solid piece of titanium. Lock bar, everything. So you take the clip off, you pull the pivot out and pull out the blade and all the bearings and all that stuff. Take off this lock bar insert and this carbon fiber inlay, and you've got just one chunk of titanium, which to me still just blows me away. I'm just still impressed with the construction of an integral knife. An integral knife or an integral knife. I don't know the proper way to say it. But so they've milled this all out to accept the blade. They've cut the lock bar. So you have to have some precision machining here to be able to do this and not mess it up. Because if you were to have cut the lock bar a little bit short, a little bit long, whatever, the knife doesn't work and you have to toss this whole chunk. Whereas on a more traditional frame lock, which I have here, if you were to mess up the lock geometry somehow or whatnot, you only have to scrap this one side. This side is still usable. The backspacer still be usable and all that. So you're kind of taking a risk to create an integral knife. There's a lot of things you got to do right. So it's usually not anybody's first offering. Now, this works really well in the pocket. The blade is really nice. I love the shape of the blade. I love the feel in the hand. I love the fact that there's no hardware on this side of the pivot. This one has red carbon fiber, end cut carbon fiber. You can actually order off their website some different inlay materials. This red end cut carbon fiber. There's a black carbon fiber. And there was something else I don't remember. I think the inlays are about 30 something bucks, give or take. But the fact that they are a removable and replaceable commodity, if you will, means that if you have some machining expertise or you have a friend with a 3D printer or anything like that, you could make your own inlays, which I think is very cool. Maybe you want something that glows in the dark. Maybe you want something out of a different type of material. You want a Damascus inlay, and you have somebody that can machine that for you. The possibilities are endless. You could put logos on here, whatever you want. Endless possibilities with that removable and replaceable inlay material. You do have to take the pivot all the way out because the pivot over here holds that in. So if you're not comfortable taking your knife all the way apart, then don't think that you're just going to remove the one screw, inlay pop off and a new one pop on. So I don't understand why sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Now there maybe this one needs to be taken apart and fully cleaned because maybe there's just something on it. No, because I can't get it there, but I flip over here and it opens right away. So there's not like a mechanical issue inside. It's a lock bar pressure issue, which is just inherent of a frame lock. That's why I have kind of grown to like liner locks better because there is no way to have too much pressure. And here is a nested liner lock or a nested inset lock, if you will, an inset liner lock. You call it what you want. The lock bar is inside. No amount of pressure here is going to make it not open. So I have kind of leaned that way in my collecting. These are about 525 bucks on their website. You may be able to find them cheaper elsewhere. This is number 90. I don't know how many they are making of this particular model, but all in all, let's get rid of all of the negatives on me being an idiot and not able to unlock it, because I'm sure it's user error, as I'm sure people will comment down below. It feels okay in the hand. I think this cutout here is maybe a little bit big. It feels a little bit kind of clunky-ish in my hand. I just feel like that's a dip. Like I'm just like fell into that. And it's not necessarily exactly where I would want my hand to go. And if I bear down on this, the pocket clip really starts to create a hot spot. You could choke up on it, which feels a little bit better. I just drop my middle finger into that finger groove, and that actually feels better to me. I don't know. All in all, I like the size. I like the shape. The lockup problem is an issue for me. I'm sure I'm just a knucklehead, but yeah, I don't know. All in all, yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's well built. There is no blade play. It's solid lockup. The pocket clip, which I just noticed now, and I think it's the same on all of their models, really does look like their pry bar. I'm sure everybody else already knew that. But yeah, I just noticed that right now. So anyway, there you go, guys. I know I kind of rambled on about it, but yeah, I think all in all, for me, it's a no, because I can't use it reliably and consistently. Your mileage may vary. If you own this one or if you have handled this one, please comment down below. I am sure other bigger channels have talked about this being the greatest knife in the world. I'm sure, because that's just how it goes. I did not get this from Joseph or Vero Engineering at all. Mike from the land down under bought this, shipped it to me, and it will go in a box to a Therapeutic Edge and Women Carry Knives, and then it will come back to me and I will ship it down to Australia. So yeah, I get nothing from this, so maybe that's why I'm just being honest. Thanks for watching, guys. Please go check out my Vero playlist up here in the corner, and have yourselves a fantastic day.